Welcome to Developer Diary number 6 for Innkeep, a game I'm making for the PC where you play as an innkeeper in a kind of low fantasy setting, making money off your guests who are the actual adventurers instead of you being the one going out and having the adventures. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos, I do put them out about every 2-3 weeks, give or take. And they're all up on my channel. You can have a look at them there. It's kind of the idea that, because this is my first ever PC game, first ever proper game really to make for the PC, and I wanted to track my progress. That's why I make these, but also so people can kind of just enjoy watching, you know, it slowly take shape. The art's all stand-in art, it's all pretty terrible, and it's very, very simplistic, but hopefully I'll be able to get some help with that down the road once the game's actually a bit more kind of close to completion and there's some playable betas and stuff that people can participate in. So I have 4 big things I'd like to introduce today and a few little things. We'll just, as per usual, just jump right in, have a look, and we'll just show them as we kind of come across them. So the first thing that is new I've added is this barmaid here. Here she is just doing kind of idle animation at the moment, which is sweeping. She'll do other stuff as well later on, like maybe clean up some of these steins, maybe wipe down some countertops, do helpful things like that. But the idea of that person, this character, is that she will act as labor for you, so that you're not going to have to run around picking up all of the tankards, serving all of the drinks by hand, because the game's not really going to be about just a manual click fest. It should be more kind of a thinking game, and she'll help kind of take care of some of that work for you. Already she does empty, excuse me, she does grab empty tankards and return them, which you'll probably see later, but that's the only thing she does at the moment. Okay, so that's one out of 4. Number 2, which you probably already noticed, is that we have this icon up here at the top. This icon here is representative of a guest needing something. In this case it's a drink. So you can see that there's one guest here, and he's highlighted right now because my mouse is over this icon. So if I shift my mouse off the icon, then he's no longer highlighted. On, off, on, off, on, off. So this is linked to this character. And the idea is that if I were to then give him a drink, and there's another one disappearing, hang on, boop. So now we have 2. There we go. If I scroll over each one, you can see they're both linked up nicely. Let's give it to the guy who came first. You can see what happens to this one here. There we go, it falls into place. So even if you've got like 20 of them all lined up here, let's just get another guy to appear. Here we go. Even if they're all lined up, they're going to kind of just keep stacking up like that. It works really nicely. I haven't had a single problem with this system once I kind of came up with the solution for how to make it work, which is just so nice. After all of the nightmare, which is pathfinding and selection and all that other stuff, this worked really quickly. But it did take a bit of clever problem solving as to figure out how I was going to do it. The idea is that previously, just to explain, previously there was only one way to know if somebody had if somebody needed a drink, and that was that they aren't holding one like these guys here. But obviously that's not really very helpful if you think about it. If you have a full room full of people, there might be several people there you just don't notice who, you know, they'd like a drink but you don't even realize, you overlook it. So as far as a method of getting information to the player, it wasn't really any system at all. It was just a lack of any system. So this is basically your notification system for guest needs. And later on, you know, if there's food and beds in the game where guests want to stay at your inn and you want to give them food and stuff like that, then, you know, using this same system, instead of like a tankard up there, it'll be like a little bed, or it'll be some food icon or something like that. So that'll all be hooked up there. And it also is the groundwork for getting this barmaid to help do serving of drinks. So let's say you have a certain barrel which is designated as the default barrel you want your barmaid to serve from, and you click on some of these icons, she'll just go and serve, you know, fill up a drink, grab a tankard, fill it up, give it to the guest, do all of that work without you having to. So rather than 3-4 clicks and waiting, you just click once, forget about it, click once, forget about it, and she'll take care of it for you. That's the idea anyway. Okay, getting pretty dark. Let's just put on a bit of wood on this fire here. Again, just something I mention every video, but it's running a little bit slower than it actually does because of the recording software. So this isn't actually the movement speed of the characters. Whew, so we have we've got a barmaid. We have an icon system. That's two things. Let's have a look at number 3. Your characters will now, your guests will now actually sit down. Not so exciting maybe, they're just, they're sitting down. Before they used to stand, but it took quite a lot of work. You can see here that there's actually overlapping here of the different kind of layers. So first it's drawing the feet of this guy, then it's drawing the bench he's sitting on, then it's drawing a different version of his sprite here. Let's just spawn a few more guys. I've got this debug mode here, so I can spawn people now whenever I want, which is really helpful. And let's see here. Oh, she's passing through the bench there. That's a bug that I still haven't fixed. And you can see here that the angle is also different depending on if they're left or right. So this perspectival kind of thing really increases the amount of work you've got to do with this, but it looks kind of cool. You can see here that this guy's drink is not on top of the table, and I would like it to be, and I'm still working on that. That'll happen later on, so that he'll actually have his drink sitting on top. And I also need to integrate the sprite system better with sitting down characters, because right now the invisible sprite behind him is still working for standing up. So you can see there's this kind of space above his head that actually allows me to mouse over him, even though he's shorter now. So there's still a few adjustments and stuff like that. Oh, you can see now she just went and grabbed one of these and she's bringing it back for us. There we go. Thank you. I didn't have to do that. She did it for me. Fantastic. Alright, so we can see here that this guest here, give him a drink. That guy there already has one. There we go. Okay. So, oh, and we just have a crash. That is okay. Let's just keep going where we left off. Basically, that's to do with this barmaid here. She's crashing every now and then, and I'm going to have to rewrite some of the code for that, but I pretty much know what's going on, so it should be okay. So we have a barmaid, we have an icon system, we have sitting down. Another thing that is new, let's just get some beers served here, is guests now smoke pipes sometimes. Just tobacco. Basically, it might be that later on it'll depend on how likely a guest is to kind of break out a pipe and start smoking. Might depend on what type of guest they are. So maybe your wizard-like kind of character or something like that is going to be more inclined to smoking a pipe than some of your other types, like a paladin or whoever it might be. So there might be some kind of variation there, but pretty much most guests I think would be it would be possible at least for them to be smokers. And then if you have several people at once smoking for quite a while in your tavern, that smoke's going to start to build up. So you can see here this guy, here he is smoking away. That's not just an individual thing for his sprite, it's adding to a variable which is kind of a global variable for this whole room. So as the smoke starts to build up, this room becomes kind of smokier and smokier. I'll just spawn a few more people. I can actually increase the rate of smoke using some cheat codes as well with this debug mode. But let's just get the number of people in here higher as well. And pretty soon what we're going to see is some smoke clouds actually starting to appear. There we go. Okay, not just yet though. There we go. So you can kind of see this smoke here is kind of wafting around a bit here. It spawns randomly, then it will kind of just slowly slide along to the left or the right, and it's got a bit of a stretch on its X and Y axis. So every sprite of a cloud is unique, and there's some variation there in the different types and so on. And it can start to get really quite smoky if you've got, let's imagine several people all smoking at once. Towards the end of the night it's going to be a bit crazy, a little bit thick. Okay, so one of the other things you might notice is that there's a cellar door down here. that's going to be probably for the next update, where you click on here and you'll get access to a special kind of GUI overlay of your cellar, and you can kind of swap out barrels and stuff like that. That'll be for the next update. You might have just noticed these people chatting with each other. The arrows there are kind of revamped. Instead of using numbers, I'm going to use arrows, I think, at least for now, because it didn't make a whole lot of sense to use numbers, given that I don't give you access to the numbers for happiness. So if it says, oh, you went up 10, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense if you consider that all you've got is a smiley face down there. You know, you don't have 100, which is the maximum. You don't have, 0 to 100. You've just got a smiley face. So instead of giving you a number, I'm going to give you 10. You can see here we've got quite a lot of these all spawned along. All these guys here who'd like a drink. Unfortunately, I don't have enough tankards to oblige them, so they're just going to have to be thirsty for now. But she's going to run around collecting. There we go. She's just collecting one for us. There we go. Fantastic. Alright, let's just talk about some smaller changes I've made that are just kind of aesthetic kind of changes. Let's see here. There we go. You might notice that around these candles now there's these little circular kind of globes of light there. I've added those because I thought that'd be a nice effect, and yeah, it kind of looks pretty cool. So that's new. Let's put a bit of light in here. It's pretty dark again, and it's getting very, very smoky. So I wouldn't actually get this smoky normally. I've just pumped up the values a bit for testing purposes. This is pretty insane, but I guess, if you had a whole bunch of freaking wizards or something like that and they're just letting loose, then maybe this potentially could get this bad, but this is like max scenario. And I've also integrated the tankards better with the world. So previously I did some changes to tables, and I never really adjusted. I did some changes to tankard size as well, and I never really adjusted how they looked when they're on top of tables, so that's all integrated properly. If you look at this shelf here as well, you'll see that there's kind of that cut-off point there. You can see they're being cut off there. Let's bring another one in. There you go. So you can kind of see, like this, that they're kind of inside the shelf. This kind of, little details here and there I've just been kind of adding a bit more. Nope. Oh yeah, I'll get out of your way. Okay, let's see. This guy, he'd like a drink. There you go. And some weirdness going on there. I'm not quite sure. In my debug mode now, I can now display pathing as well, which is really helpful for figuring out whenever these kind of quirks appear. I can kind of figure out what's going on, and it's making it much faster to debug and fix things. But I think that's about it. So I have I've shown you that I've adjusted the tankards. There's some lighting on the candles. Let's just reset that. We've got your barmaid, smoke, debug mode, sitting down, and our icon system. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so just 1 minute to talk about what will be happening over the next few weeks. The idea is that I'll be going back and kind of starting to spend some more time paying some attention to conversations. I'd like to have another guest type finally. Never ever seems to happen, but finally add another guest type and have an example shown of kind of negative conversation where people who don't like each other, where they don't get along with each other very well, are kind of sitting at the same table. And I'd like to have this cellar system working, so I can show you some of the swapping out of barrels and stuff like that, and getting the barmaid to kind of serve drinks automatically and this kind of thing. So that'll be coming up in 2 weeks. Maybe 2 weeks after that I'll be dealing with the end of day kind of financial reports, deductions of costs and expenses such as wages and things like that. Maybe expanding another couple of guest types, and hopefully then by the end of June, so we're looking at maybe 2 months from now, we'll be kind of getting towards having enough different types of guests that I can really start to kind of balance and playtest the idea of this game, which is that you're balancing up guest types around tables to try and make them have a good time, and then see if I can work out what we're going to do with this rumor kind of system where you're collecting rumors and quests and jokes and things and deploying them, because I'm still not exactly sure how I'm going to make that work. But yeah, so I'll start to be moving more towards kind of gameplay, adjusting numbers and things, instead of mucking around more with coding the behavior of these people in the world, which is that's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to doing that. Thank you for watching as always. Thank you very much for following me on Twitter. Thank you very much for commenting and things like that people do on Reddit. It's really nice to have comments and things from people. And I'll keep making these, keep pushing forward a little bit at a time, and hopefully in a year or so this will be a fun little game you can actually play. I'm really looking forward to getting people beta testing and stuff in the not so distant future. Alright, see you guys next time.